So some people have been wondering what I've been working on this week, on and off, as well as Click Team Fused and things like that. I've been working on a brand new multifunctional level editor, which is quite a big application. It's a lot bigger than I thought. In the past, I've always made applications, and I've always made level editors based on my own games, and specific for my own games, which is always a good thing to do, and I do still encourage you to do that if possible. But still, a lot of people don't know how to do it, so I thought, well, maybe I'll create a tool that helps people build levels for their own game engine outside of Click Team Fusion Frame Editor. And it turns out the way I've constructed this is it's starting to look more like I'm rebuilding a new frame editor, which is good, I suppose, because I can put new features in that are not currently in Fusion's frame editor. One of those features being a what do you call them? A prefab editor, where you can prefab sprites and stuff together, and backdrops as well. It doesn't necessarily have to just be active objects. But as you can see, I'm just going to give it a test run now so you can see how it works, and you can see straight away it looks just like the Fusion frame editor. So I felt like I was building Fusion 3 or something at one point. You can create a new level. You can set what size of the level is going to be. So if we wanted to do a 640 by 480, and here we can set which backdrop, which library we're going to use for it. We can give the level a name as well. We can. So for this, I'll just call it test level. And click OK, and as you can see, it creates the level for you. It highlights where that level is. This here, I created a buffer just in case you need to place any objects outside. That there might be some big objects that you need to position outside the frame to display in the frame if they're a lot bigger and stuff like that. We've also got a configuration screen that I've done here as well, where you can set the grid options at runtime, and this is per level as well, so you can have individual grids per level just like that. So you can use the grid, and you can snap to as well. You can see on the right hand side here I've got the object library loaded up. You can scroll with your mouse through those in real time, and then obviously you can position your objects. If you need to paint, you can do, and as you can see, I've got a highlight for when you're overlapping other objects too. The other thing as well is what I've implemented so far is layers. You can have up to 10 layers. I'm thinking about maybe increasing this, but for the foreseeable, well, for now, whilst I'm developing this app, I can't see any more need for 10 layers. And you can see that you can edit on multiple layers as well. So if you wanted tiles on layer 2, you can also add tiles to layer 2, like so, and they kind of fade depending on which layer you're on. If you're on a lower layer, it doesn't display them at all, which is good. And also you can't select objects that are on a different working layer to what you're on. And also you can change object properties, layer properties at runtime as well, so you can set the X and Y coefficients at runtime as well. Just need to update that string somehow. I think you can do it through refresh. Should be doing that automatically, but I'll probably get round to that. And I'm just slowly implementing the toolbar feature as well. At the minute you've still got new, open and save. They all fully work, so you could save your levels, you could reopen them. The configuration, these are basically just stuff that's already implemented. I just need to make sure I put the toggles in at the top. But yeah, it's coming together alright. There's a lot more work in it than what I thought, purely because if everybody's got their own graphics and stuff that they want to import, so I have to be able to import all the graphics. Like if you load a different level up as well, I've got to make sure that it loads all the correct graphics and puts them in the right spot and whatever. I'm using a lot of debug strings at the minute just to make sure that I know everything's loading up alright. And I've also got a little debug a little debug thing running that runs every time, so I can just manually make sure I know what's going on in the background. But it's coming together all right. It just like I said, it's just a lot bigger of a project than I imagined. It's very time consuming to make sure I get everything right, because I'm using MDI in Fusion. I'm using multiple windows as well. I have to make sure I get all the sizes right and allow for stuff like scrolling as well, which is not the most fluent thing to do in Fusion, but it is doable. But yeah, so when I have another update, once I've got a little bit further, I'll post another video and let you all know all about it.